this next step you don't have to do. I just wanted to do it because I wanted it to be more backless, to show a bit more skin and to make the corset laces at the back look a lot nicer and be more striking. I wanted the back to be more striking. So what I've done is I've pinned the centre back together, and then I'm going to pin my shoulder seams together. This just makes sure that everything, my centre back seams are lying flush, and when I cut it's going to be even and not uneven. So I'm just going to cut a triangular wedge out, so we've got a V shape coming down to our waist. This is going to make our waist look smaller, and it's also going to make the laces just look a lot nicer and sit a lot nicer against the body. And then we want to get that black elastic and just put one pin in at our centre back seam where the stretchy top meets the dress. Now we're just going to put it on a wide decorative zigzag. It can be any kind of decorative zigzag that you want. I've just picked a sort of curved sloping one. It's very important at this point that you stretch out your elastic, not all the way, but you want to stretch it about halfway out. Elastic, by halfway I mean you can pull elastic to its full extent and it won't elasticate out anymore. So you want to pull it about halfway, so there's still a bit more give in it. This is just going to help hold our bust in place and our centre back in place, because the way I've cut that dress, it's been cut on the bias, which means the weave of the fabric wants to warp quite a bit, and so to pull it back in place and get it to sit really nice and flush and snug to our body, because of course you're not going to be wearing a bra with this, I decided to add a row of elastic at the bust. Now I'm going to come back over and do another stitch, decorative stitch below, but at this point you just want to make sure that you're covering that seam from the shirt to the dress, and that you're trying to stitch closer to the top side of the elastic, because like I said, you're going to come back and do another row of zigzag, tacking down the bottom side of the elastic to the dress. And the reason why we do this second row of zigzag tacking the bottom of our elastic to the dress is because if you don't, and when you get it on, it's going to flip up. It's not going to sit flush to the dress or to you, and that doesn't really look that nice. So that's why we do that second row. By flipping over that centre back by about a centimetre, it doesn't have to be exact, and we want to stitch around 0.5 in from our finished edge. And at this point I would put your machine onto a 1 zigzag. This just stops the thread from wanting to snap. It gives the stretch of the fabric a little bit more ease, and the thread is less likely to snap if you put it on a slight zigzag, as you can see my sewing machine's doing there. I've also just flipped over that last little bit of elastic, and I'm going to stitch over that now, just so everything's held in place and everything looks nice and there's no raggly bits sticking out. I chose black 3mm wide ribbon, but you can choose any coloured of ribbon that's going to complement your dress. And then you just want to work out roughly how long you want your loops to be that are going to be going down your centre back. So just roughly work out one, cut it, and then use that as a guide. Mine, as you can see, there was about 1.5 inches, so it's about 3.5 centimeters of ribbon, and so just cut off enough to go down your centre back. Now I decided to put my loops 5 centimeters apart, but if you want more of a crisscross back, you could even do them 2 centimeters apart or 3 centimeters apart. I wouldn't advise to go any wider, just because then the fabric at the back will want to buckle. So yeah, I would stick with the most 5, and I'd say the smallest amount would be 2 centimeters apart. Pinning the loops down is a little bit frustrating because the ribbon is so small, because it's 3mm wide. It's hard to get your pin to hold it in place, so just take your time and make sure that it's in the right spot. But the most important thing is that it's in the right spot. So yeah, just take your time with pinning. And I mean, if you don't want a pin, you could just hop on your sewing machine and lay them on as you go, using your pins as a guide as to where, how far down they're meant to be. But yeah, just take your time with this, because if you move 1 centimeter down or 1 centimeter up, you'll notice when you're lacing it up at the back, because the black is quite striking against your skin. You just want to make sure that they're the right distance apart, otherwise you will notice. And then again, just stitch down that centre back, tacking down our loops, and again I do it on a 1 zigzag, just to give that shirt a little bit of ease with the stretchy fabric.
Nothing left to do. You heard me once and ignored me twice. I was on a thin line, the chaos burning in the mind, in the mind. I'll go 1,000 miles if it's all worth the while, if it's all worth the while. You wanted me, how can it be that everything will be okay, no matter what you say to me, you say to me.
Now, I didn't film this next part, but I tried the dress on and worked out how short I wanted it to go, and then I drew a little chalk line in, and now I've gone back. I've got a pretty good eye, but if you haven't got a good eye for lines, just get a ruler and rule off a right angle. Now that excess fabric that you've got, you could make into a headband, or you could use for anything really. And then you just want to hop on your overlocker and overlock off the raw edge. Now if you don't have an overlocker, wide zigzag on your sewing machine, and we've left about 1 centimeter seam allowance to flip up and stitch, which is what I'll be doing next. Now because the dress fabric isn't elastic, just make sure you put your sewing machine back to a straight stitch, and I've got it on about a 3 width, and then you just want to use your foot as a guide and keeping the bottom edge in line with the foot, and just stitch around.
And I broke through what I had in you. For what it's worth, I was such a fool to be with you. Nothing left
Just quickly, I was wondering if you guys could let me know if you found it frustrating having to wait for the full 3 videos to know how to make the dress. It's so frustrating. I can't upload videos longer than 15 minutes. So let me know if it was a real issue, and I'll try to make shorter tutorials, or if it was worth the wait. Yeah, so if you could let me know, that would be wonderful. And my next tutorial coming up is an earring tassel tutorial on how to make suede tassel earrings. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!